Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into That Real Texas Team Podcast, episode 30. Uh, my name is Curtis Brown. I'm the host of the channel. With me, my new regular, Mike, from Mass 3 Productions on YouTube. You should go follow him. He's a videographer and photographer. Hit that subscribe button over there. He's trying to grow over there and kind of broaden his horizons. So if we could help him, that'd be huge. While you're at it, while you're clicking buttons, go ahead and hit the subscribe on this one. Like to get a goal of let's go crazy. It's a reaction. They usually do better. Let's hit 15 likes. 15 likes would be crazy.
So I want 25.
Oh, we'll get to 25, I promise. But let's give him a little tasty. Huh?
Walk it up a little bit. You walk it up.
All right, so 25 then. Let's do 25. Let's see it happen. Big game today. Huge game today. We're going to be talking all about it. 29-27 victory in Indianapolis, a place that Houston's not all too familiar with winning, and they come out in a nail biter after basically trying. It felt like many times the big play was about to just continue to get us. We held on, and we start the season 1-0. So, Mike, first, how are you doing tonight, and what were your thoughts on the game?
I'm doing great right now. I'm glad to hear it. One of the best things they say, yes, we're 1-0, but we're the only team in the entire AFC South that won today.
Yes.
Nobody else won. We did our part.
Yep.
Thank you, Chicago.
Hey, it really looked like Tennessee was going to win that game.
Yep.
And then the blocked kick or the blocked punt return for a touchdown, and then a pick six by Levis, and that was all she wrote.
It started rolling up on
Williams had 93 passing yards today. Not a great showing for the number 1 overall draft pick.
Trevor Lawrence didn't do that much better either.
Well, yeah, no. But yeah. Here we are. Returning defending AFC South champions, sitting at the top of the division after week 1. It's a good place to be. And we're 1-0 in the division already. So
one game up.
Oh, dude, it's a good start. It's a good start. I know everybody else in the division right now is hurting right now. So, we'll keep our debauchery to a sane level, so you guys aren't too upset by the fact that we're partying. But
we're gonna try not to discuss.
Yes, try. Yeah, attempt maybe if I get around to it. So look. Let's break down some of these things. I'm gonna hit a note. You hit a note. Okay. So first thing I want to point out, to me, I feel like the offensive line was phenomenal in the run game. Pass blocking, they looked foreign, like they'd never played the game before at times. So that was not expected. I expected continued struggle the running game and pass blocking being okay. Not the case today. Don't know what the hell that's all about, but I'm sure Joe Mixon loves it.
Yeah, Joe does, but I'm gonna be CJ. CJ shouldn't be feeding any of those guys tonight. Dinner's not on CJ tonight. Dinner's on Joe, because they left CJ out to hang a couple of different times.
Yeah.
Even like I said, it sounds my wife's not a football savant at all. She's watching the game. She said, okay, they blitzed 5 guys. We have 5 guys blocking. Why are there 4 guys in CJ's face?
Yep.
Like, that's
math ain't mathing.
No. And the thing was, they're blitzing and they're still only bringing 5, and we can't give CJ the time he needs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think a little bit of that has to be who was on the interior of the offensive line or the defensive line. I'm sorry, because DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart, they're no slouches. Those are top flight defensive tackles. You got to put at least 2 people on DeForest Buckner to make sure he's not a problem. And then you're going from 5-on-4 to, you've really got one-on-one matchups everywhere else now because you've got one double team. And then, that just they blitz, we're cooked.
Yeah.
We're cooked.
But we have this guy named CJ, so he makes something out of nothing very often.
He does. Yeah, it's better than what I feel like at times Deshaun Watson used to do, which, by the way, he looked awful today. Dude, oh my God, so bad.
Thank you, Cowboys. I never thought I'd say that.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, I mean, I anticipated that Juice Scruggs, Kenyon Green would have issues, Buckner and Grover Stewart, and in the passing game, but in the running game, they hit those spots. They get off onto the backer clean, and they open up pretty good size holes for not just Joe Mixon, but also Dameon Pierce.
Yeah.
I know you were giving him flowers before the pod.
Yeah, I had to because he looked like the Dameon Pierce I remember. Yeah. And a lot of it was based on the offensive line. If anybody that goes back and watch the game, I hope you record it and watch it again. There were many times that Joe Mixon and Dameon Pierce weren't even touched till they were 5 yards downfield.
Yeah.
And if you're running strong and somebody's only touching you, that better not stop you. And it didn't today.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the running game was crisp. You had said something about it earlier that a couple times Joe Mixon seemed a little out of sorts with the playbook. Even still, 30 carries, over 150 yards, touchdown, a couple catches out of the backfield.
And that's my point. He seemed a little off on at least 4 or 5 plays. And he still did that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Money well spent. Money well spent.
Oh, man, this offense looks so good. And I can't wait. Like, they did these things to a pretty solid front seven, might I add. Pretty solid seven. One of the things that we were talking about is if they were able to run the ball, this might be a harbinger of what they can do to anybody because this defensive front is that good. So I'm hoping that's exactly what this is. It's a symbol of us being like, we're about to run it down everybody's throats. And CJ is just going to be there to like supplement, hit people over the top, and play clean.
And the thing is, this was a bad field.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody said. They can make all the excuses they want through the broadcast. That field looked like ice. Guys were slipping all over the place, and we still did this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm excited. We get back home next week
against the Bears and a very lackluster Caleb Williams, but we'll get into that on another episode.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that today.
No. We talked about offensive line. Let's focus a little bit more on Joe Mixon here. In my notes, I wrote down Mixon, is the real deal.
He is him.
Spent also works.
I have not seen a guy run that big and that strong for the Texans. I'm gonna say probably in their entirety of the team existed. The closest I've seen to that was, you remember Ron Dane?
Mm-hmm.
That's the last time I saw somebody running strong through tackles. And Arian Foster, I love him. He's great, but he wasn't the guy to run through tackles.
No. Dameon had a little bit of that in him a couple years ago.
But it was so good to watch Joe Mixon punishing the defender.
Oh, yeah. They kept talking about how the safety Nick Cross, at first he kept trying to hit Joe Mixon up high, and throughout the game he kept attacking him lower and lower and lower to avoid hitting him. And I mean, when you're making that much of a visible impact on how a safety who is not afraid to hit people is now having to adjust everything about how he does his job for a business decision, you're putting yourself and the team in a pretty good spot. I feel like if that's how you're playing the game.
The third play of the game, but not the third play of the Texans' first offensive set. Joe Mixon steamrolled him. like he's rolling over, trying to catch onto a leg now. I was like, oh,
yeah.
So that's what that looks like.
Yeah. Mixon's not a small guy.
No, not at all.
He's big, pretty big sized dude.
And they called him old fashioned because he was walking around. I didn't pay attention to it till they noticed it. Everybody else was wearing gloves. That running back wasn't wearing gloves.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Do you want to hit a note real quick?
One of the things I gotta say, Laramie doing Laramie Tunsil things, that jumping off sides thing. If he doesn't do it twice a game,
he ain't breathing.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest, I watched the game. They called it on him twice. He did it like 5 times. But thank you, Laramie. Thank you for reminding us.
A reliable man, if nothing else.
But that offensive line play, I did not know they had that run blocking in them. I just didn't. And even Laramie. It was a couple times I saw him down the field, bulldozing linebackers. I was like, oh, wow. He can run block.
Son of a bitch.
Kenyon Green looked like the guy we drafted.
Yeah.
I'm proud. I'm actually very proud of him.
Yeah. Who would have guessed that a number change and a little bit longer hair was all he needed? No, he does look. It looks like he's more comfortable and everything. The zone blocking scheme is supposed to be the simplest version of blocking for an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
So, in theory, his life is cake right now. As long as he's able to soak up literally anything at all from Laramie and Shaq Mason, the dude's going to be fine in this system. And if he stays healthy, of course. But
that was one of the other things I want to bring up about this game. We finished the game with everybody healthy. Everybody's healthy.
Nice. It's been a long time.
An old age.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
I have CJ looked poised. He, as we've been talking about, run blocking looked great, pass blocking pedestrian, and several times he's just got nothing going on in front of him, and he doesn't care. He'll roll out, avoid somebody. He'll just take the sack if that's the smart play to do. One of the best things about CJ is he doesn't care if he's got to give up on a play if that's the smart play to do. He knows
regardless of if it's third down, he's like, you know what? This is going to get back.
Yeah.
He just gets down. When he threw that dart off his knee, I was like, we got a quarterback. We have a quarterback. We don't need anything else. He makes the plays we need him to. There was one of the other plays he was rolling out. When he was getting outside the pocket, he hit another gear. And as I'm watching the play, I was like, okay, he's slowed down. He sees something. What does he do? He hits Nico Collins smack dab in the middle of the field by himself.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Do you see that stat come up today about Nico? The last 2 games he's had versus the Colts, like his total yards was like 361. And then you add another 116 or whatever today.
Yep.
I mean, talk about a cold killer. That's
why. See why who?
Yeah. For real. We might finally start to turn the tables on these Colts. Nico is wide receiver 1. Today solidified that, in my opinion. The way that everything was structured, it looked like he was wide receiver 1. Diggs and Dalton Schultz, the tight ends, Brevin Jordan got involved pretty early. But, I mean, it was very clear wide receiver 1 was Nico.
And it should be. The thing is, the game started out slow. Nico didn't touch the ball. Tank was touching it. Dalton, we were hitting Brevin Jordan. Nico didn't actually have a catch, I think, till towards the end of the first quarter.
Correct.
And he still did that.
Mm-hmm.
That catch on the sideline. Oh.
Yeah, there at the end of the game, drags that toe and hits the knee right before it goes out of bounds. That's as close to perfection as it gets.
Yeah. Now, if Stephon is teaching these guys that, Stephon might get another contract here in Houston.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Speaking of, I mean, while we're talking about Nico being wide receiver 1, Diggs roll, 4 catches, 33 yards, 2 touchdowns.
He won't be complaining.
Like the yards, but the touchdowns are nice.
I think they'll find a way. Everybody's like, oh, Stephon Diggs is going to need the ball. He's going to want his touches. He got his touches. He turned them into touchdowns. I think Stephon will be happy with that. He'll be able to work with that. He'll say, yeah, this is something we can do.
Yeah. Be kind of interesting if he has like 10, 12 touchdowns at the end of the year and doesn't hit 1,000 yards. That'd be crazy.
If nothing else, it'll help Stephon get his next paycheck, whether it's from the Texans or somebody else. Yeah. Those type of stats and him not complaining about them.
True. Another wide receiver that we wanted to talk about today who was inactive is John Mechie. Xavier Hutchinson gets the nod over him. He was involved a little bit today. Do you think that maybe Mechie was like just a healthy scratch, or was it just because they needed the depth other places, you think?
I think they needed the depth other places. The other person I saw playing that was a little bit of a surprise that he was even able to play was Tim Settle. So I think it might have been clearing a spot for Tim Settle on that defensive line, knowing that we were going to be facing Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
Makes a little bit more sense because if we're being honest with ourselves, regardless of what we think about Mechie or whether we like him, we don't like him, or anything like that, Xavier Hutchinson outplayed him the entire preseason.
Yeah.
He did. Mechie played good, but Xavier Hutchinson looks like a guy that is definitely a receiver in the NFL. And then the fact of Sterling Sims has to be there to Steven Sims has to be there to return kicks. Why have Mechie dress out and he's probably not going to play?
Yeah.
Like same thing we say with Cam Akers. I didn't even see Cam Akers dressed out either.
No, he was inactive today. He wasn't. He was a healthy scratch as well. But we did have British Brooks. He was used as a kind of the fullback back.
Did you see that tackle from British?
I don't think I did.
Oh, you missed it. Special teams.
Okay. Was he like a gunner on punt or something?
Yeah, and he laid the wood.
Oh, hell yeah.
He laid it.
British?
Yeah.
We're going to start calling him the British Bulldog or something.
It's ready. It's there for him. Mm-hmm. There's a moment I think I was talking to Chris about it through message, and it's like, hey, he's like, yeah, him and Damian Pierce about the same size. I was like, no, Damian's small next to British Brooks.
Yeah.
They showed him standing on the sideline next to each other at one point. I was like, holy crap, I didn't know he was that big.
Yeah. He's like just barely not 6 foot. Like he's 5'11" and some change. And then he's like 230, 235. He's a good size dude. Look, we've talked a lot about offense tonight, and rightfully so. The offense looked great at times, and it just, once the gelling is done on the offensive line, once the rhythm is found, this team is going to be crazy on offense. Crazy. But let's talk about the defense. This is a defense as a franchise that had allowed Jonathan Taylor to average 135 rushing yards a game, 153 scrimmage yards a game over the last 6 games against the Texans. It's incredible, right? Incredible run. They were 4-1-1 in that time. Well, in game 7, on I think it was 16 carries, he had 48 yards and a touchdown. Maybe a couple catches out of the backfield, but that's one hell of an improvement. We all remember what happened in Week 18 last year.
Yes.
30 carries, 188 yards. Are you kidding me, bro? This might be the most improved area of the defense, and I wasn't expecting in that to be the most improved area.
Not today. Not today, at least.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting it today.
So hats off to Burke. Hats off to D'Amico Ryans. Hats off to the fellas up front, Daniil Hunter and the Lorenzo Fotocasi, Mario Edwards Jr., Will Anderson, Jerry Hughes. I'm trying to think. Barnett probably got in there lit. Tim Settle.
Yep.
Balled the hell out today and absolutely ate up that running game.
And somebody else that, like I said, we talked about him a little bit before we got on. Henry Toa is also a very big reason Jonathan Taylor couldn't get off. He was constantly hitting him in the backfield.
Yeah.
I didn't think Azeez Al-Shaair was going to be our linebacker in the pass coverage. He was back there. He has at least 2 or 3 batted down balls today.
Yeah.
So that means Henry Toa was in that muck. He was down there hitting. That actually it scares me. What is this team going to look like with Christian Harris?
Yeah.
A healthy Christian Harris.
Oh, man. That athlete. Oh, God. Look.
I actually can't wait to see Anthony Richardson again.
I know.
I can't wait to see him again.
God bless America. Anthony Richardson. I think this is a good segue here. Anthony Richardson, and I said this before the show, is a less stylish, less talented Cam Newton and less accurate.
Yeah, I think that's right on the button with him. When he does great things, they are great. When he does bad things, I'm going to bring up a name. A lot of people probably remember that guy named Josh Freeman.
Oh yeah, he was a quarterback for the Bucks and then the Colts for a little bit.
Exact same thing. When he does things great, wow, they might have something. That might be a quarterback, might be a guy.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson is probably one of the strongest arms I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I'm old enough to remember Jamarcus Russell. I've seen Josh Allen air it out. And I think Anthony Richardson's arm is better.
Yeah.
But he couldn't hit a target on a regular basis consistently if his life depended on it.
No. Not even slightly. 9 for 19 today, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Interception was by Kalen Bullock. So that's one for the rookie third rounder.
They can blame it all they want on the turf. It wasn't on the turf.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
It wasn't on the turf.
His top 2 receivers today in terms of total yards. Alec Pierce, 3 receptions, 135 yards, 1 touchdown. 2 of his receptions were of 50-plus yards.
Yep.
Ashton Dulin had a 54-yard reception for a touchdown. So outside of those 4 passes, the other 5 completions he made on the other 15 attempts accounted for roughly 50 yards. Actually, 40-ish, 30-ish.
And what I will tell you about it, Ashton Dulin, if you had him on your week 1 bingo card, you are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us didn't even know who that guy was.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, I'm aware of him because I've had to do a lot of conversating with the enemy, but yeah. Well, he gets a lot of playing time when Josh Downs can't play, and he was not available today. He's basically their poor man's Tank Dell. Suck on that, suck on that, Jeff. No. But look, realistically, this game should not have been as close as it was.
No.
The Texans were able to do significantly more on offense earlier than the Colts were. Had it not been for there was like a sack fumble or something where they got the ball at like the 6-yard line.
No, it was a blocked punt.
The blocked punt.
Blocked punt. Yeah.
Take the blocked punt out of the equation. We're looking at 15-7 here. This game was like well within our realm of just walking away with it at any point. At no point did I really feel like it was in danger, though. Like, we had a 9-point lead at different points in the game.
And I thought we were going to stretch it at that time, too.
Yeah. Yeah. It really felt like the next time the offense got the ball, we were about to extend this lead even more, and there would be no issues. But, the Colts kept fighting and working their way down the field somehow.
You have to give them a lot of respect for that. Really do.
Yeah.
I knew the Colts were going to be pretty good. I wasn't sure how well coached they were going to be, and that's on me. Shane Steichen coached those guys up very well.
Mm-hmm.
They were ready to play. Zaire Franklin isn't all talk. He was there. Him and EJ Speed were there all game. They weren't ready for Joe Mixon, but they were there.
Yeah. I mean, Zaire Franklin had a breakout season last year. I think he was top 5 in tackles, if I'm not mistaken. He ain't afraid of nothing. So, I kind of anticipated this game would be kind of close. I'm trying to find what we had. Okay, so I had the game going under, but Jeff said 31-20 Indianapolis. I had 24-23 Houston. Chris had 28-24, and then you had 35-21. All of us choosing Houston, with the exception of Jeff, obviously.
Yeah, he's okay being wrong. He's okay.
Yeah. Oh, man. I can't wait for this AFC South show here in a minute.
You have to tell those guys I said hi.
I will. What other notes do you have?
Let's see here. I got to check my paper, don't my old man here. We talked about Joe. We talked about Nico. The fact that Jimmy Ward showed why we drafted Kalen Bullock. That he did. But Jimmy was out there hitting. Yeah. I think he looked excited to finally hit somebody other than his own teammates.
Yeah. It is a pretty freeing feeling, that first live game where it's not preseason and you're not trying to make some business decisions. Jimmy Ward doesn't care about business decisions.
No, he's like, I'm getting paid whether I get hurt or not. Let me see if I can hurt somebody else.
Yep. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not illegal unless you're coaching.
Football. People. It's football.
Yeah.
If you're afraid of that, you don't like that, go play flag.
Truth. It's crazy. Flag football is actually the 6th fastest growing sport in this country.
Damn.
I know. You got 2 versions of football. 3 if you count soccer. I don't count soccer. I mean, it's popping off, but I'm just I get it, But.
I'm in Texas and we're close to Mexico, so yeah, soccer's big here.
Yeah.
I can't play it, but I mean, I know it's big. Other people tell me.
Yeah, I see. I can't play it either, but I also have people telling me it's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I just don't care. All right. Well, look, we're 1-0, baby. We're 1-0 on top of the division. Everybody else lost. We're 1-0 in the division as well. So I mean, we're top of the world right now.
One step closer to 17-0. That's all I got to say.
let's pump the brakes on that. But
hey, I'm just saying, one step.
Yeah, a step.
A step.
Have some interesting games down the schedule. So yeah, I think this is a good spot to go ahead and wrap it up. Do you have any closing comments, my guy?
Closing comments. I just want to say, all the Texans fans that watched that game today, it gave you hope. It gave you something to see. It was good to continue the Indianapolis Colts streak of non-winning first games of the season. I love to continue streaks for other people.
Yes.
While we create new ones for ourselves. It was great to see. I really was.
Tank 11
Tank
or 12
being Tank.
Tank being Tank.
Nico showing why he's him.
Yep.
Stephon, that offense that they talked about, that all things were going to be firing on all cylinders, we saw that today. It was a reality. It wasn't an optical illusion. The defense was out there hitting and tackling. We saw, like, one thing we didn't bring up, me and you talked about a little bit earlier. I saw Jalen Petrie lining up in the linebacker spot. Now, I don't know if that was the plan from beginning or the end, but I saw it. And was this Christian Harris not being there, playing there? Either way, it worked.
Yeah.
D'Amico is a good guy. Yeah. We just got to figure out a way to keep these big plays from happening, and Eric Murray not being victimized, just not being on the field. It's the first start.
Yeah, we got to figure out a way of hitting on special teams. I would have seen MJ Stewart instead of Eric Murray had MJ Stewart been healthy today, but
I think so.
But we ended up getting Eric Murray and not the guy you want out there at all. All right, look, we got a game coming up on our next game is Sunday night in Houston against the Bears. And we're going to have a whole preview show coming out either Wednesday evening or Thursday night. So keep your eyes peeled, folks. Mike, I want to thank you for taking time out of your evening to come on and talk Texans ball with me.
Always. I love
it. Hell yeah. Folks, I want to thank you for watching. While you're here, go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button. We're trying to grow the channel. We're currently at 106 subscribers. I'd like to see that number growing. And we'll go ahead and, 15, 25 like goal, whatever's clever. If you see it anywhere near those numbers, just keep clicking it and,
let's get it there.
We're trying to be in front of all the Texans fans we can be in. So, yeah.
Like, share,
subscribe.
Please share.
Notification bell, the works and stuff. But most of all, be good people and go Texans.